everybody? Welcome to the Run Pure Sports NBA Hardwood Show. I'm your host, Mangone. I'm back with JT Hayes. I'm back with Big T. We got JT batting in the one hole. JT, we'll go to you first. How's it going over there? How excited are you to be here on a Tuesday with us?
Oh, I love hanging out with you two guys. Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, doesn't matter. Just really happy to be here. And it's a beautiful day here. We've got baseball tonight. We've got basketball that we're going to talk about. There's golf this weekend. I think there may be some horse racing somewhere. So it's just so many things to do. And I would rather do it with nobody else but you two.
Yeah, same here, JT. And we got a doctor in the house, right? In our Discord chat, right? We got a doctor. So we got everything in the Run Pure Sports Discord. If you haven't got in over there, head on over to Run Pure Sports. Sign up now. There are tons and tons of offers that we have going on. And one specifically, we got an option where you can get the bets monthly and the Elite Edition. So if you sign up now using the code GETBETS, you get a free month of the bet side as well with your subscription. So, yeah, JT, there's a doctor in the house in our Discord. We got it all now in the Run Pure Sports Discord.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised. I was up early this morning, about mid-morning, decided to pop in, see what was going on, and somebody who calls himself the Fantasy Doctor was in talking about Fernando Tatis Jr.'s injury. Obviously, a big injury for MLB, big injury, terrible news for the Padres, and giving us a little diagnosis. I don't know if he's an actual doctor. He calls himself one. But as soon as I questioned it and said, oh, my goodness, we've got a doctor. What's going on here? He kind of disappeared. So I hope he comes back. I hope he can come back. I know a little bit about a torn labrum. I actually had an impingement shoulder injury, had a surgery on my right shoulder. And they told me, they said, look, the doctor said, if when you wake up, you can't move your arm any further than this, you'll know that I had to repair your labrum. So I wake up and I'm thinking about it and I'm like, all right, let me see what happened. And I gingerly move my arm. It was like, I mean, I can't even describe the elation I felt when I could move my arm the whole way, because that is it's a long road to recovery, especially for someone who's not playing professional baseball. But even in professional baseball, I think it's likely you won't see him the rest of the year. But the doctor was in today. He didn't take any questions from subscribers. We have a bunch of mental health issues with some of the guys in Discord, and he just wasn't interested in talking about that. So, Tony, did you happen to see him? You get any prescriptions filled from the Fantasy Doctor today?
I mean, I should have tried to get a prescription filled going into Masters Week, but no, unfortunately, Mangone called me all excited about him. So I got the excitement level from I had to be Travis that was excited, but yeah, Travis called me all excited. He was definitely pumped about the injuries.
I mean, I wanted to get Big T's. I wanted to see if he saw it because we got tons of funny stuff in our Discord, right? So I was like, Big T, are you seeing this? I wanted to make sure he knew what was going on. And, speaking of seeing things today, JT Hayes. So I got a bone to pick with Tony here on this one. So last week, he says, my play of the day is Kira Lewis. He gives a 40 to 50% chalk play, right, on that show. Absolute stone chalk play. And then he makes fun of me and says, oh, I've never watched a press conference. And I wake up this morning, he's tweeting out Bryson DeChambeau.
It wasn't even a press conference. They were like in his friggin' RV.
Tony, it's basically a press conference.
No.
They're literally asking him the lamest questions. I took a drive to go get a nice little bacon, egg, and cheese this morning, and I listened to that thing, and it was pretty boring. There was a couple nice.
Oh, it was not boring. I was 6 to midnight the whole interview. That was not boring at all.
You were 6 to midnight when they talked about them making his brand new driver?
Yeah, of course I was 6 to midnight when he's going to drive the first hole. Why wouldn't I be 6 to midnight? Are you kidding me? Who's not 6 to midnight?
I don't get 6 to midnight for things I expect, Tony. I expect him to drive it really far on the first hole.
He's got a new toy in the bag, so if that doesn't get you excited, whoo.
I did get excited about the point where he talked about how he just like lives and breathes golf. And he's like, if you're not thinking about something 24/7, you're not trying to become your best, right? And like that, you can apply that in many things in life. So JT, did you watch it? I gave you some homework to watch this thing. It was a press conference basically, right?
Yeah, I mean, I started to watch it, but the Masters, first of all, the Masters starts Thursday. Today is Tuesday. There's like 7, 8 NBA games. There's 7 baseball. I didn't have time. I had things to do today. I couldn't watch Bryson talk about his driver and his sticks and his everything else. But I will say, as an independent viewer of this, your dispute, if this were arbitration, so to speak, I would I'd have to side with Mangone and say it's a press conference.
Stop. That was no press conference.
I hate to go against my guy Big T. I mean, one of my favorite people in the world, but
there's no way.
I mean, I think it would meet the criteria for press conference. You had a journalist talking to him, kind of prompting him.
That was an interview. There's a difference between an interview and a press conference. You take multiple questions from people. You give terrible answers. This was a full circle jerk.
He did lead with, he's playing frisbee golf. I was like,
yeah,
like he led with that, right, which is fine. But then they got into the boring questions. And again, Tony, you ask anyone else, they're going to say it was a press conference.
No, okay, literally no one would say that's a press conference. JT's just trying to create controversy.
I'm not. I mean, you say
you would
consider that.
Well,
hold on a second. Hold on. You say it's a circle jerk. I mean, what they do at the White House every day, they call a press conference. That's a circle jerk right now, right? So, I mean, come on. There are no difficult questions.
I want action against both of you. If I put a poll up on Twitter that says, was that a press conference? There's a 0% chance that you guys win that vote.
Well, you're gonna first of all, we have to find an audience that might actually know what a press conference is. You're gonna get the people on Twitter that they're people on Twitter, right? I mean,
you did press conferences for a living. I've seen it. I've seen the videos. Those were press conferences.
That's true. That
was not what Bryson was doing. So
very
you're an
similar.
expert in this.
Very similar.
JT, there's a huge issue here. You know what the big issue is? I think Big T, you got you probably got a lot.
Everyone in the chat agrees with me, by the way. You are the only two that think it was a press.
They're sycophants. They're sycophants.
Literally, not a single person.
They're hoping. First of all, they're hoping you've got a little 888 ticket that you're going to give them. They don't want to go against this.
That's true.
They're like, oh no, I'm not going to say anything bad because I'm going to be automatically out of the running. You never know when he's going to pull out that wad of hundies and say, oh, here we go. The best kiss ass in chat gets 3 tickets to the 888 tonight. They're not going against you. That's why you need independent arbiters like me.
Yeah, and also someone says it's an interview. The interview is basically a press conference. They're like the same.
Oh, stop.
They're very similar. They're both asking questions. And the other thing, Tony,
it's like saying Chris Hogan's the same as Julian Edelman. Like, it's not the same thing.
You talk about your followers, right? Let's try them. The people in the chat agree. Tony, you got like 100 cousins in the chat. No wonder they're all agreeing with you. Of course, they're going to disagree with me and JT here on this one. So that does not surprise me one bit. But yeah,
I think it's a good point. E24 is a relative of mine.
He might be. Would not be surprised, Tony. The relatives are lurking in the chat, I'm sure. But I do want to talk about, we got Masters Week, right? It's exciting. Obviously, we got NBA. We'll talk about it. We'll get to it. But we have tons of awesome stuff here at Run Gear Sports. And we got our boy Big T. He's trying to repeat his Millie win. He joined the 2 Comma Club at DraftKings. So, Tony, tell people a little bit about the Millie Maker win and everything and, the content that we got this week and you trying to pull a little repeat here.
Yeah, I mean, all champions have to defend their title. And the good thing was today, I saw I can play my same team again. It's not going to be unique this time, but it is crazy that the exact same team you can play this week and it fits perfectly. And I mean, obviously I like all 6 of the guys because they treated me right. But I mean, that team is a good team again. So obviously it's not going to be unique because people saw it win, but I'm going to run it back. I'm going to give it a chance to defend its title. Those six fine gentlemen that came through for me, I'm going to give them a chance. But no, we got tons of content. The show tonight, I'm pretty sure the playbook's already up. The core plays are coming from everybody. The Discord's been chirping all day, different things. It's a fun week. Even if you don't like golf, Masters Week is one of those things like March Madness that everybody but Hoop likes. The Masters, I mean, everyone friggin' likes the Masters. And if you don't like sports. It's a great event. And I'm excited. I mean, I can't wait to sit down and just watch it for the next 4 days while starting Thursday. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. We're doing the show tomorrow night, 9:00. Me, JSU, Uncle T. We're running it back. Last time before the Millie Maker win, we went on, talked all the winners. I know for a fact we literally talked about every guy that was in the Millie Maker win. So hopefully we can go back to back and dominate that Tuesday crew. Are you on the Tuesday? No, you're not on the Tuesday crew, are you?
No, I'm not on the Tuesday crew. Yeah. I'm doing the bet show with JJ and.
Are you going to talk about the layered rough again this season?
Yeah, I mean, listen, Hoop loves to talk about the layered rough. Everyone at Run Pure Sports loves the layered rough. So, no, we'll be talking about a ton of awesome stuff on the bet side. Again, use the Gets Bets code, and you'll be able to get in on the bet side and the DFS product for a month for free with the bets side. So check that out. We'll be doing that show, though, for free on the YouTube channel at Run Pure Bets. It'll be me. It'll be JJ. It'll be Snyder. And like Tony, like Snyder has been on fire, too. We should talk about that. Like, it might be 6 out of his last 10 outrights he's hit. And some of those ones that he didn't hit on, he had you in contention on Sunday. And like, for instance, Charlie Hoffman, you could have easily had 35-1 on Charlie Hoffman if you're signed up at the bet side and bet on Jordan Spieth, right? If you had $1,000 to win, $3,500 or $35,000. No one's putting $1,000 down. So we're putting $100 down to win $3,500. You could have bet Jordan Spieth at $500, right, to hedge to get $1,000 because he was plus 100, and you're guaranteed a profit of $400 or a profit of $2,500. So got that quick math right, but that's a way that you can kind of do stuff over at the bet side, and we can help you out with that in our Discord chat as well. So that's some great stuff. JT, you do any of that kind of stuff? You on the bet side, betting on anything?
We can here in Georgia. That's the problem, right? But definitely interested in the DFS side for Masters Weekend. Look, I'm here, just not even a couple of hours away from Augusta. So if any of you guys have a sweat, maybe I'll run up there on Sunday and try and trespass onto the green and confuse some of the other golfers. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you'll definitely be in there, I'm sure, getting some stuff in. Someone's got to try and win that millie. We'll do our best to help you out over at Run Pure Sports, but we should dive in. We should talk about the games. It's been fun, but we got to get into this. It's got to obviously have a quicker show because we have the MLB stuff going on. So let's dive in and let's talk.
Can I ask you a question first before we dive in? Just a question.
Sure.
All right. Because someone in the chat brought this up, and I wasn't going to talk about this, but who was your play of the day on the baseball show that you just finished?
My play of the day, it was a White Sox hitter. It was Luis Robert. That's who he went with.
I mean, he says you picked. He says you picked a guy who lost his leg the other night. He says you picked Tim Anderson. Is that what? So what's going on?
What's going on is we're talking NBA, JT. Why are we talking?
All right, I'm sorry. All right, let's move on.
We don't have as much time today, JT. Let's get this stuff moving. So let's talk about the basketball. And of course, it's 5:17, right? 5:30, we're getting all the injury news, so that's going to all pile in. We got one 7 o'clock game and one big piece of news I expect to get probably in the next 12 minutes. That's with the Pacers and Bulls. I don't want people to think, I'm skipping a game, I'm missing it. Actually, we got the news just now, so that's actually perfect timing. Sabonis and Brogdon are out, and Land is most likely in. That is unofficial, though. So that is news from the beat writer. So we will talk about this game. We got the Bulls. We got the Pacers. JT Hayes, this news just hit, right? Tell the people, what are they doing? Are they loading up with Miles Turner? Is it Karis LeVert night, even though his price has gone up? What are you doing here with these Pacers against the Bulls?
Yeah, I think I start here with TJ McConnell and Miles Turner. And the price on McConnell and what point guards have done to the Bulls as a whole makes him probably one of the easiest plays on the slate here. Turner, I actually looked up what Turner did, not just historically against Chicago, but also against the Magic. And really good history against both teams. And historically, when Sabonis is out in these matchups, Turner has been very, very good. Obviously, LeVert is a good play too. I don't know how much I want to load up on this game. There's some good price points on the other side. I think it makes Vucevic a better play. I probably just said his name not the way that I'm supposed to, but I don't really care, as you guys know. And Zach LaVine, it depends. Kobe White, I saw, is still questionable. So there could be some value on this Bulls side here. And then one other price point that I looked at, Patrick Williams at 4.4. He's still playing more than 30 minutes a game, and Daniel Tice is out tonight. So there's a lot of value. It makes this a better matchup for DFS, I think, with Sabonis and Brogdon out.
Sorry, I'm texting our producer to get rid of a terrible chatter. So my apologies there. We also got Jeremy Williams. Tony, you got to address this, Tony. He says, please stop waiting 3 minutes before lock to post your cores. I mean, let's talk about this a little bit, Tony, because this is like the worst.
It's the topic of conversation. And honestly, like, I mean, I'm sure there's other stuff that has set me off since we've started. I mean, we started this company like a year ago now, a little bit less than a year ago, but like, I don't get tilted very often, as you guys know. When people start complaining, though, about the time the cores, like last night, I put the cores in 11 minutes before lineup lock in the NBA chat, which I think is plenty of time. What people don't realize, I go on this tangent all the time. I promise you that right before I posted that in Discord, I had saved it to DraftKings or FanDuel literally 20 seconds before that. My process, literally right when I finish the team and put it on DraftKings or FanDuel, the next thing I do is copy it to Discord and the site, like immediately. It's right after it goes on the site. So if you want my actual team, the core plays for my main team, that's just when it's going to go up. It's never going to change because it's my process. It's what's been successful. I don't want to put them up an hour before. Either I can put them up right now and then they'll change, or you can wait till 11 minutes before lock, and that's when they go up. And, I mean, if you don't like it, then I don't think Run Pure is for you. That's just the truth.
Yeah, and the reason why you're doing it, right, is because you want to give the best plays you can. If you want the cores right now, sure, but you're not going to get the right stuff, right? Because when this news hits –
why do people want them so early, though? That's what I don't – like, why do you want them an hour? I don't want to go to a site where – oh, they're giving me a core at 5:22 for the 7 o'clock. I don't want that site. Why would you want the team that early?
Yeah. So I'll just add to that, right? First of all, when I make my lineups, I'm running the optimizer at 7:55. I'm doing it with the exposure I have in with the points that I just to play around, what have you. And I think you can't make a lineup at 5:30 or 6 o'clock or 6:15. And the difficulty of doing this show for an hour, getting off, looking at information, digesting the news. I think if you're looking and waiting on a core, and AP posted something in chat today, right? Have a little sheet. Who are the players that you like yourself? Who do you think from the cash chart or from the playbook or from your own opto is a good play? And be ready to roll those right into your lineup.
And I'm doing both sports too, like every day. Well, at least the weekdays. I'm not doing it 7 days a week, but the weekdays, I'm putting basketball and baseball up for everyone. Like, so we do the show, and a lot of the days I'm hopping on the freaking Up to Lock show with JSU and Holden. People, the expectations they have, we're not robots. We still got to build our own teams. We're trying to help as much as we can. The good part is 99% of our members love it and they fully embrace it, and they should, because they're getting 5 guys from our actual team. That I play one main team on each site every night. You're getting 5 dudes from that team, and I think that has more value than being able to build an hour before lock. If you've done the work, you already know all the guys you like. Well, you got the playbook, you got the other cores, you got everything you need, whatever else the rest of your process is. Know the guys you like, plug in the cores. It should be an easy fix for the last 3 guys.
Exactly. And when you get the big news, right, that's something that's important. And Big T, we got to talk about the news with the Pacers, right? They're not typically a team that you love loading up on, right? But it's something we got to look at. I know Sumner has started a bunch here in this spot, and they have kept McConnell off the bench. I think McConnell could be in play. Price has gone up, but I think LeVert and Turner are the biggest beneficiaries. What are you doing here with this Pacers?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough to stay away from these guys. I mean, you just look at it, like JT said, TJ McConnell, great spot. I mean, basically all these guys, McBuckets. What'd you say about Jeremy Lamb?
So the report on Jeremy Lamb was he is, I think it's most likely in, but it's unofficial.
Because he's 3,400. I know I played him in my core like a week and a half ago when he got hurt. And, I mean, he's 3,400, and Jeremy Lamb can score the ball, especially against the Bulls. So he's in – basically all of them are going to be in play. We got another situation where you can play all these guys. The one guy that just never comes through for me is Miles Turner. He's just a big – I just don't think he's very good. I mean, let me pull him. So what did he do? The last time These guys were out. What did he do? Where's the charts at, K Fallick? Show me what freaking Miles Turner did the last time. I think he'll be the one I stay off of the most, though. I think LeVert is a very, very good play. McConnell, great play. Those are the two that I like the most, just because they're guards. Obviously, they're going to have the ball in their hands. And then the cheap guys, Jeremy Lamb. Justin Holiday's another guy I'm just never going to play. I just refuse to play Justin Holiday, but McBucket's definitely in play. I'm guessing Sumner will probably start again. He's been starting on the games that Brogdon's out. Isn't that right?
Yeah, Sumner has started, and they keep McConnell off the bench. I don't know. I don't have the chart in front of me, right? I don't know who's closed. I'm sure it depends on the spot, but yeah.
I think Jeremy Lamb might be the best play, honestly. As long as we don't get news that he's like on some crazy restriction or something. 3,400 for Jeremy Lamb when they don't have any. I mean, besides LeVert, they don't have like any great scoring in there. Justin Holiday's a shooter. McDermott's a shooter. But Jeremy Lamb can get buckets for you. 3,400 is crazy cheap.
Yeah, I like our boy TJ McConnell. I do worry about the price a little. He's 5,300. That's my one concern, but there is upside still at that price.
Especially against the Bulls.
Yes, exactly. The matchup is really good. He also loses, like, the Satoransky defense. So I'm not even that worried about it, but the Bulls defense, the guards off the bench has been rough. JT, give us some of your final thoughts here on the Pacers and the Bulls.
Yeah, the one thing I'll say is Turner's been good in this matchup and against Orlando, and he's going to get more minutes here. The problem I've seen with Turner is it's been the minutes where he hasn't been producing. They'll take him off the court. Well, with Sabonis not there, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to do that when you have Vucevic and you have Thad Young on the other side. So, but again, yeah, sure, you could stack up this game, but I think there's a number of other spots, both injury spots as well as just pure upside spots that I think I don't want to go crazy on this game, but I don't think you can avoid it because the plays here are so good. And like I said, McConnell and Sumner, even if he starts, although at that price point you have a couple of other options, and this Bulls team has been one of the worst, along with San Antonio, against point guards all season long. So really good matchup for the guards here as well.
Yep, I think that makes a lot of sense. Last thing I'll say, Tony, Miles Turner. So you don't like him. What about on FanDuel? Because he is 6,200, I think, on FanDuel. Let me make sure I have that right price. Yeah, he's 6,200 over there, and steals and blocks matter a ton, and that is something he does specialize in. So do you agree on that same take over there? Because he is going to be a chalky option now. I just want to make sure that you know that, right? Because he's going to be a good play, but that's something you like to do. You like to fade the chalk and go some other guys. So what do you think of Turner on FanDuel?
Yeah, and he's like literally the perfect example of a guy that there's not a ton of plays that I think in basketball that you can consider just cash. Like a lot of the good plays are just good plays, tournament, cash, everything. But Miles Turner is one of the type of plays that I think is just a cash play. I think he's a great tournament fade. And I can't get behind it. If I lose because Miles Turner gets 45 or 50, I'm good with it. I think most nights he gets you like 35, and I'm okay with that. Like, he's fine. Like, don't get me wrong. You can play him. He's going to be on the cash chart, I'm sure. He's going to be a good play. But he's just not a play that I'm going to get behind, especially because I want to play some of these other Indiana guys. I'm not going to waste one of my Indiana spots on him. I don't see it. I don't like it.
All right, fair enough, Tony. Let's go and talk about the Sixers and Celtics. We got a 221.5 total here. JT, I'll go to you first. What are you doing with this game? It feels like one I don't want to load up too much on. How about you?
Yeah, not a whole lot. I mean, two teams with a lot of bodies. Maxey is even in tonight, which isn't much of an impact, but it's just another body on the Philly side. When Doc has a full team, it's really best to avoid any of the secondary guys, and the prices are up for Embiid, for Simmons, and for Tobias. On the Celtics side, Fournier is out, but they have a lot of guys as well. And, there are two price point plays that I think you can consider on DraftKings, and Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart. But on this slate, with all the value that's, in particular, the value that's just opened up, like, I'm probably not going to play Marcus Smart over any of the Indiana guys. Jaylen Brown, again, Philly's been pretty bad against shooting guards. So I can see where, but he's not going to play that role tonight. So I think it's just a game that I'm.
JT there? JT cut out or something. The internet's kind of bugging out a little bit there. Tony, talk to me about the Sixers and Celtics. I think it's a good game to stay away from, but let me get your take on this.
I mean, K Fallick in the chat is telling me that Thies news was big. I thought he still played for Boston. I didn't even know he played for Chicago. So that just threw me off a little bit. But this game, I mean, I don't know. Philadelphia games have turned into games that I've just have faded for the most part too. You look at now they're getting back to full strength. You look at these prices, and I don't know. Like, there's nowhere really I want to go to. I mean, you look at it. There's so many good plays this time of year for the next month as the season ends. There's so many good plays. Do I really want to play? Again, I say this every single day on the show, but I'm only playing my main team. I think that's my specialty, playing one team in NBA. So it's easier for me. If I'm playing 150, maybe you branch out a little bit more, but which JT's better at that anyways than going to 150 in NBA. But one team, like, I can't even really make a case for anyone in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I know Fournier is out, so like I just can't get excited though about many of these guys.
Those guys are fine plays too. Like, I should be clear, but like those Boston guys, they're gonna grade out about where they need to be. Like all of them, when we want to hit whatever the number is, 5x type thing. If Jaylen Brown's 7,600, we want 40. Like, I think he gets you 40. I think he ends up in that range where you need him. I just don't see anything crazy to where you would want to play them, though.
Yep, I agree on that. Don't really need to mess with those guys on this slate. Let's head on over to Lakers and Raptors. But before we do that, I do want to talk about some stuff that we have over here at Run Pure Sports. First thing I want to mention, guys, hit that like, hit that subscribe. It helps us out a ton. Definitely want to get those up. The producer likes it. Big T likes it. We get them to FedEx. That's what we're trying to do here. So hit that like and hit that subscribe. Also, want to talk about SuperDraft that we have going on over here. We are running a little promo. Use the code RUNPURE. You get a match deposit bonus up to $100, and you can use the core plays. We got core plays from AP, from Bobby Gomes over there for SuperDraft, and you can mix and match the workbench play of the day, the Eiffel Tower play of the day, all the plays of the day, and all the core plays you can mix in because they are not a salary format. They are a multiplier where you can play whoever you want. So be sure to get those guys on your lineups, right? Go and play some SuperDraft, jam in Big T's workbench play, jam in those core plays, and then collect all the giblets. Tony, how's that sound? You want to get your workbench play in on the SuperDraft action?
I mean, I'm upset because Jeremy's bringing bad mojo in the chat saying Dowdy's still a millionaire. That's a lot of bad mojo coming my way. I don't appreciate that, Jeremy. What do you mean? It was like 2 weeks ago I won. How bad? I mean, how could I have blown it that quick?
Yeah, I mean, listen, like you can't lose it in two weeks, right? There's no way. I mean, we had a good party, right? But we didn't buy that much stuff.
We must have bought a lot of good stuff if we already blew through that.
JT, did I miss some party there where all the money was blown? Like, was that when maybe someone was sleeping? What happened there, JT?
No, I mean, this is insane. First of all, the man's been working like a dog since he won. He's been on these shows. I think you took maybe a half a day off the next day, try and sober up a little bit, right? And then he's been back on every show every day, cores every day. You put up cores on the weekend. Jeremy.
I'm pretty sure I shipped NBA like one of the next few days after that too for a final seat. Come on, Jeremy, stop with the bad mojo. I admitted when I struggled during football, that was a downswing. There's no downswing right now, buddy. We're up since the win. We're not down, we're up.
Yeah, and Jeremy, we'll admit when we're wrong or when we're in a bad spot. And Tony had a bad last Friday, no big deal. We knew he'd bounce back, and he has bounced back, and he's going to have a great week. And we're all going to have a great week. So keep that good mojo in the chat. That's what we want to see. And Big T definitely has not gone broke, Jeremy. It's okay. He can give you maybe a little bit. Maybe you can buy him lunch just to kind of.
I'm taking the downswing too before after upswings. But I was back to playing one team that next day. We're not going broke this time, Jeremy. We're working on content. We're shipping another one this week too. Get that bad mojo out of here on the Tuesday show.
Yeah. We don't want that. We don't want that bad mojo. JT, that's just very hurtful, right?
It is. It's hurtful. It's disrespectful. You know what? There's a guy in chat who's bringing good mojo that he's completely being overlooked now because of this dude, Jeremy. And his name is Dave Mack. Dave Mack subscribed recently. Credit card bill came. Wife said, hey, what is this? This is, he said, hey, that's the Wi-Fi. I got a little Wi-Fi extender. Wife was happy. He's happy. That's the good mojo. Making everything happen so you can take care of business.
Yes, an extender definitely gets the good mojo going, right?
He's
Tony?
still going with it too, Jeremy. He said, "I'm not saying he's broke."
This is exactly what you said. This is exactly what you said, Jeremy. What do you think? We're deaf?
I don't understand, Jeremy. Stop with it. Don't keep going with it. Circle back here. We need to get
Jeremy wears two masks.
Winners.
Yeah, we're trying to get the good mojo going, and this is a spot where we need the good mojo, right? Because this is a spot where Tony, I think, is targeting. At least I think it is a lower total. 208.5. We got the Raptors and the Lakers. And Tony, you love to play some Raptors, right? Is this a spot you're loading up on them? You're loading up on them once again.
And so yesterday, JSU called me. We were talking, and he said, Toronto, another great spot, because I told him to remind me. Man, they've been letting me down lately, though. Like the last month, when they hit that downswing, the trade, they've been letting me down a lot. Yesterday looked like a total freaking lock spot. Let us down again. Man, they were terrible yesterday. And now they come right back today. And, man, it's another good spot against this Lakers team that just – you love to play the Lakers right now before they get healthy, because this is a shell of the team. And, man, it's going to be a somewhat low total when you look at it. What is it, like 208?
208.5, very low.
Yeah, so low total, but you get a lot of the guys are going to play big minutes. A guy like Gary Trent that everyone played, these are my favorite spots. Like, he busted yesterday as mega chalk, come back today, and people aren't going to be looking to him. I mean, he's just not going to be as high owned as he should be. It's just crazy how NBA works. Yesterday, Malachi Flynn was popular all day. He wasn't announced a starter, so lots of people get off of him. He ends up being, Mangone knows better than me this stuff, but what was he, 20% or something, Mangone?
Sorry, I was sneezing during that, man. I'm struggling here. Who are you talking about?
Malachi Flynn, what was he owned yesterday?
Malachi was 16% in my GPP.
And if he was a starter, though, yesterday, he would have been 60% or something, which just shows you the news. He goes off, which was the second game in a row he's gone off, and now he comes back today. I'm guessing he probably won't start again. I mean, I don't know why they would.
So Tony, I'll tell you, I kind of read up on this a little bit. I caught it. They started Malachi Flynn. They didn't start Malachi Flynn. They started Bembry, and the reason why is they wanted to make sure Bembry was on Westbrook because they didn't want Flynn on Westbrook, which makes sense, right? Like, that's a really bad mismatch to keep him in front. I think Malachi Flynn could start here against Dennis Schroeder, right? Like, that would make sense. You're not worried about having, like, Westbrook on Malachi Flynn just would have been a disaster. So I think Malachi Flynn could actually start here. And if he does, it's going to go up, right? It's just going to go up, that ownership. And you're going to have to think about
off the charts. Like, either way, it's going to be off the charts. Like, he's gone off 2 in a row. It's just funny how NBA works was the main point. Like, I'm not saying he's a good or a bad play. He's obviously a good play, but it's just funny how everyone gets off. The minute he goes off, he comes back today, gets the Lakers, and he's going to be mega chalk. But all these guys, I mean, the prices are right where they need to be still. You got no one's really going to play OG at 7K off the little bit of a stinker. Gary Trent had a bad game. All these guys are going to play big minutes. I mean, even like Aaron Baines played, what did he play yesterday? He played 21 minutes at 3K. Like, you can play Aaron Baines at 3K. All these guys are in play for Toronto, just like every single day. And then you look at the Lakers. I mean, their main dudes are gonna play big minutes. Kuzma and Schroeder. I mean, they're gonna get minutes. I think you can play those guys too. So, yeah, this game is definitely in play for me. I'm nervous because Toronto has let me down a bunch this month, but you gotta come back. You gotta come back with it.
By the way, Big T, is Jeremy the one who was being just the bad mojo chat? Was that Jeremy Williams?
I just know it was Jeremy.
Well, if it's a different Jeremy, it's another one that sucks. Like, he's talking about my allergies in the chat, right? He's like, oh, get a Zyrtec. Like, Jeremy, like, I have no clue what Zyrtec is, dude. Like, I mean, come on. Like, stop saying some stupid stuff. Like, Jeremys are just the worst in the chat right now. If your name is Jeremy, you're not shipping at Run Pure Sports, right, JT?
That's right. That's right. First of all, we talked about it. There was a doctor in the chat today. I know for a fact that Travis slid into his DMs, asked him what he should do for his situation. And it's, it's privacy. You heard of HIPAA? I mean, come on, Jeremy, get out of here with this. You're trying to violate like federal laws. You're being hurtful. This is not a good place for you to be if you're going to bring that. It's just disrespectful.
Yes, but let's talk about the Raptors. Let's talk about the Lakers for you, JT. How are you handling it? Like, we have to load up on these guys, right? They're definitely guys that we need to be playing in our lineups. How many are too many? Is it 3? Is it 2? I think there's going to be at least one Raptor on the winning lineup for sure. That's not a hot take or anything, but if I'm making 150 lineups, I need at least one on every team. JT, how about you?
Yeah, well, I think from the first, I'm got to understand what Toronto has been doing since all these guys got injured, which is giving up just a ton of fantasy points to opposing teams. And I think that Schroeder, is that how you say his name, Mango? Is that how you're supposed to say his name? Schroeder?
Yes, Dennis Schroeder. That's the right
Schroeder. Yeah, whatever. Dennis.
Just like Luis Robert, it's Dennis Schroeder. There you go.
So Dennis and Dennis and Kuzma, I think, are gonna make my teams. I think it's a good bounce back spot for them. And then on the Toronto side, I think, yeah, you can look to Flynn, you can look to Bembry again. He's going to start. And then I like coming back with Siakam. I was on them with you guys last night, and I didn't have a lot of time because I was focused on other things. And I started to make my lineup. As I'm punching in those guys, I'm like, these prices are stupid. This is bad, but I just had to go with it. And luckily, I thought I'd never say this, but luckily I played Darius Garland. So I managed to sneak in a cash thanks to him. But yeah, I think these Toronto guys, the Lakers have been much worse defensively with all those injuries out. I don't know what they're doing at the center spot. I mean, Gasol played, I think it was 28 minutes against the Kings, and Montrezl Harrell only 17. It may have been a good spot, and Vogel may have figured it's a good spot to let Gasol play because anybody smashes against the Kings at center in particular, but I have a lot less interest in them. We will know before lock if Drummond is in or out, especially if Drummond is in. You can forget about all 3 of them, but definitely think this is a spot where it's going to be tough to avoid, and I think you're right. I think that some of these plays are going to end up on the winning lineup tonight.
Yep. Big T, I saw a question in the chat. They basically were talking about like the Raptors, right? Ownership, right? How many Raptors can you have in your lineup? Does ownership matter? What are you doing there with that situation? Because I know you're someone that just fires these guys in your cores. Like you talked about it. The next month, we're going to have a lot of great plays. So does ownership matter with the Raptors, or are you going to find a way to get different within the Raptors, or are you going to do it in other parts of your lineup?
So basketball is literally like one of the only sports I don't really worry about ownership all that much. And for whatever reason, I always end up unique too. I think it's just the way I construct my teams that I just don't care. Like even if I had 6, I'm not saying it's today because today's probably not the slate for this, but I'm not scared to play 6 dudes from one freaking team on DraftKings. If I know they're going to be the 6 dudes that get all the minutes and the usage, I'm not scared to do it. What it does that I don't think people realize, it gives you a much higher floor as far as, I say this all the time, like you have a really good chance to cash. If you somehow get them all to go off, you'll be unique. You can ship, but you have a much better chance to crush. And usually what it does is you end up playing like Bembry and Baines and these guys if you play a bunch, which lets you play 2 studs with it. So you can play whoever the 2 best studs are on the slate, and then you got 5, 6 dudes from Toronto. You crush when Toronto crushes. There's no way around it. And yeah, I mean, it's not the move for everyone. I know a lot of people don't agree with that because of the upside. One of them probably will bust most of the time. I mean, I get that. All 6 of them, 5 of them probably won't crush. But I think then you don't miss. You just get the overall upside of having all of them. I do it all the time. I've done it all year, and I've crushed with it all year, honestly.
Yep, definitely makes sense. I'm going to be firing on those guys as well. Guys, just to mention, hit that like, hit that subscribe. It helps us out a ton. Also want to mention our guys over at Monkey Knife Fight. Use the code RUNPURE to get a match deposit bonus of $50 to get all of your prop picks in. There's tons of awesome ways you can do it. We have all the sports right now. We got baseball, we got basketball, we got the Masters. Tons of opportunities to win some money. Head on over to the Discord chat and get in the Monkey Knife Fight chat and get in on the winners. Let's go on and let's talk about the next game. We got the Pelicans and the Hawks, and this is definitely one that we want to get exposure to, right? Pelicans are shorthanded. The Hawks, they're getting a little healthier, but there's still some opportunity here, I think. JT, we have to go to you first when we're talking about the Hawks because it's a slate where we get Tony Snell against the Pelicans team that we can attack, right? So is Tony hanging out with us? And how are you handling the Hawks here?
Yeah, it's the first thing I noticed on the slate was that Tony Snell, a significant price reduction. He's 3-2 on DraftKings. And, Nate McMillan, I mean, obviously he's an interim coach. They lost a couple of games. And what does he do? He panics and he benches Tony Snell. I mean, he's a pure precision shooter. He's shooting the best percentage from three-point in all the NBA, and now he's relegated to the bench. It is incredibly hurtful, and for that, I hope Nate McMillan I don't hope that, but let's just say that it's just disappointing. But at 3-2, he could absolutely still meet his number, but he's probably not anywhere near the value that we're going to be focused. We definitely need the news in this game because if they're healthy on the New Orleans side, I'm going to have almost no interest there. And then on the Atlanta side, John Collins is still out. I'm not sure if Trae Young is hurt or it's just the impact of some of these other shooters that he's not taking as many shots. He's not having the ball in his hand as much, and he's not playing nearly as many minutes. So at 9-1, I have him as a potential in my player pool, but I just think that there are probably other spots to go to. The value is definitely at guard tonight. There's upside with Trae at times. It just hasn't been there as much this year. So definitely need news. If the news breaks and some of these guys on New Orleans are out, then yeah, definitely going to have interest in some of the pieces there.
All right, Tony, how about you? Pelicans and Hawks. Do you want to get a piece of this game? Are you getting exposure to it in your tournament lineups?
Yeah, I mean, Trae Young has been a disaster lately. He's been disappointed. He's been very hurtful, honestly. I've had him a decent amount. He's just been bad. I mean, eventually you got to just get off the ship for the year, I think. I mean, he's just had a down year, missed a ton of shots. Atlanta has a bunch of pretty good guys, too. Like, I feel like they should be better than they are. Like, they have a bunch of dudes that are pretty good. And a lot of it has to do with just Trae Young hasn't been as good as we think he should be. And we keep playing him. And, I mean, he's had some big-time stinkers. I made fun of your Fox take. But Trae Young's been worse than Fox in his own little way. So, I don't know. I can't really play him. New Orleans, yeah, I mean, we got to wait for some of this news. It kind of looks like, I mean, Mangone always knows this stuff better than me because the press conferences, he watches actual press conferences. But Zion and Ingram feel like they're trending to play, right, Mangone?
I mean, you never know with the Pelicans, so I just wait until they tell me. They're one of those weird teams that I don't trust them. So I know we just got news that Alexander is going to miss at least 2 weeks, right? So we might get the news very shortly, right? You would assume because that news just dropped now.
The question is with Isaiah, because Isaiah Thomas is going to play, right?
I assume he plays, right? Yeah. I mean, he didn't play the last game. He should play today, which that's going to muddy stuff.
Run they're going to give this dude.
What?
I wonder how much run they're going to give this dude, like 20 minutes, 18 minutes.
Yeah, I assume it's not going to – he's not just going to go out and play 28 minutes, right? Like
I wish they priced him at like $3K so he could be tempted to play him.
Yeah, it's a lot tougher to play him, obviously, at that price. Are they going to do the Jackson Hayes big man lineup again, too, with Steven Adams? That was wonky as anything.
Yeah, I mean, I like when they do that weird stuff. I know I'm in the minority, but I liked when Denver was doing that weird stuff with Bol too, where they just ran out all big. I'm always fine with being different. It kind of goes with the DFS strategies I like. I mean, I'm okay with it. Try some. It's the regular season. Who knows? Maybe you just strike gold and somehow find something that works. So I don't know. With New Orleans, we got to wait for news. See if Zion's in, Ingram's in. But the prices, even if these guys are out, I mean, the prices, Lonzo Ball is $7,500 now on DK. Bledsoe's up. Jackson Hayes above 4. I really don't see anything that sticks out to make these guys better plays than some of the other guys. So, I mean, pretty much I'm going to be off no matter what.
Yeah, what about some of the guys on the Hawks side? Like, I think Lou Williams could be interesting here in this spot. They actually benched Trae Young for Lou Williams the other day because of how well Lou was playing and Trae wasn't playing well. And it's the Pelicans, right? Guards are definitely a spot that you can attack. I don't hate him.
We're not playing Sweet Lou.
All right, I'm just curious because he has upside, right? At that price,
no,
he does have the upside.
No.
I mean, he has the upside, Tony. I'm not saying I'm not playing him today. But all right, Tony, fine. He definitely has it, but JT.
The last time I took a stand was yesterday when I made fun of these two donkeys on the show, Hoop and freaking K Fallick, for stroking Boban. I took a big time stand and said, look, guys, K Fallick came on this show and said Boban is safe. I like fell out of the chair. First of all, I was appalled. I made fun of these two, and then what happens? He plays 0 minutes. He was safe, K Fallick. You said he was safe.
No, he's
0 minutes.
He's never safe. That is 100% sure.
He's 7'9". Like he doesn't. Some games he just doesn't play.
If he's a starter, then he is safe because he could. I mean, he can play 4 minutes and then come out, so it's tougher. But he's safer, right? That's what I would assume. But
he's definitely safer, and his price was a little higher too, though. He wasn't that $3K price we're used to. But anyways, back to Lou. Like Lou does not have upside.
I mean, I disagree, but that's fine. We can
How does he have upside? When?
He
hasn't had upside all year.
He's shown it. I mean, the past couple of days, and he closed with them the other night. He
had 23 fantasy points last game.
Yeah, the games before. He can have
Trae Young didn't play that other game.
What?
The other game when he had 40, that was when they were all out.
Yes, of course, but it's also a matchup too. He can have upside.
Well, what do we need to do? Let's get some action. Like you can have this dude. There's no.
I don't want him that bad. I was just saying he has upside.
There's no way this dude gets even in the 30s. Like no chance.
Okay, yeah. Again, I'm not going to bet on upside, Tony. That's not.
You said he's got upside. That was what you said.
Well, what action are you giving? You mean like 70 to 1? I'm not saying 71 is what I want, but I want something crazy.
70 to 1.
It's upside.
70 to 1. JT, help him out. Come on.
Again, I'm using a random number. I'm not
70 to 1.
He has.
But let's just dive in a little bit. You brought up Lou Williams. Talk to us about it. Convince me to play Lou Williams at 5'3" as a backup in this matchup.
I just said he has upside at his price if he ends up closing because he could close the game and he's playing the Pelicans. That's the matchup.
Because he closed last game?
Yeah, he can. He got
23 when he closed. That was impressive.
But he has upside at the price. I mean, it's simple. If Lou's making his baskets, he's going to get in there.
Upside. What are we talking about upside? Like, what could he get?
You need him to get 40 on this slate.
Yeah. So that's a good point you're bringing up, right? You think you need him to get 40 because of guys like Malachi Flynn. Are you saying the guard position overall is a position that you don't want to be going to a guy like Williams because you want to spend down enough and then go up enough, correct?
I don't think the risk outweighs the potential reward, even in this matchup, because you've got guys like Schroeder, you've got the value in Indiana, you've got the value in Toronto, right? So all those guys are like there's, I think, 4 starters at or just above his price that have tremendous upside with limited risk. If you told me Trae Young was out, I'd be all over it. Be the easiest play on the board because New Orleans sucks against guards. But let me put it to you this way. I'm more tempted to play Trae Young in a couple of lineups, hoping that I catch a random upside game at 9-1, which is potential in this matchup. But I think there's a better chance of that happening than Lou Williams getting me home in this matchup to take down a tournament.
I think Lou Williams has a better chance getting home at the strip club after the game and pulling out some upside at the old chicken joint.
No, yeah. I mean, listen, Lou Williams, he definitely likes to get after it there. And I get the Trae Young thing. I'd be too scared to spend my money on Trae, right? Because he's one of those guys that if you spend up and you need him to do well, like you cannot survive like a 20 or something just absolutely embarrassing. So that'd be my one worry with the guy.
But that's the reason, from a tournament player perspective, the reason to play Trae Young tonight is there's 2 reasons. One, the matchup. This is, again, there's a bunch of these matchups. I talked about them: Chicago, San Antonio, and this matchup, right? Best matchups for point guards. He scored like 19 fantasy points last game. I don't think there's any way he repeats that horrific performance. I think there's a pretty good chance there could not be a better bounce back spot. But on the flip side, Tony's right. He's been trashed this year.
The best part about this is me and JSU argue, but like for the last 10 years, Sweet Lou's been like my favorite player in basketball but he is Dust City now. It's not what's the wing place called? Magic City. I mean, that's what he is right now. Dust City. He's going to the wing joint later tonight.
I promise you, he'll definitely be better than he was with the Clippers. They're actually using him. So, but we'll see. I mean, again, it's one of those things where it could not be the right slate. I just think he has upside at the price for the role that he's going to be in going forward. But we'll have to see. We got to keep going though. We got more to talk about. I mean, again,
I just can't even imagine the screenshots tomorrow if Lou Will scores like 9 fantasy points.
It's like 47 fantasy points,
or the other way.
He's gonna get like 12. It's gonna be that side for sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk Memphis and Miami. Miami is a team that we've talked about. Jimmy Butler, right? He does make some sense on some of these slates, but I don't think this is the right slate for him, Tony, right? We talk about how he keeps doing pretty well, but Oladipo's muddying up that situation. And I think Miami's prices, we need to wait for them to go down. What are you doing here with the Heat?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And yeah, we're running behind because we were talking a bunch of trash. I'll just say I don't like this game.
All right. What about you, JT? Are you loading up on the Memphis and Heat game, or are you moving on?
No.
All right, easy. Let's move on.
That's how we speed it back along after the trash talk.
Definitely the right move to do because we got 3 games left, and there's definitely a couple we got to talk about here. We'll talk Pistons and Nuggets first. 9 o'clock start on this one. Tony, I worry about Jokic, not necessarily tonight, but I've worried about him with Aaron Gordon being back there. I know the usage is going to go down. Is he worth a spend on this slate? I kind of think he's not because I'd rather just go Giannis, right? I think this is such a great spot for him. We're talking about Jokic versus these stars. I think you like him a little bit here because the Pistons will play bigger and they definitely need Jokic, and Jokic can obviously have a big game, but I also worry about blowout too. So talk to me about Jokic. Is he a guy you're going to spend up on?
So this is just another example of where I use the optimizer in basketball. Even if you play one team, like I say every day on this show, I think you use an optimizer. And I just underproject him. Like, I agree with you. I don't think the ceiling is there. I don't think he has the 70-point ceiling with this. This starting 5. I keep saying it. I drove to Indiana to place a huge bet on Denver at 18-1. I'm all in on this Denver team. I think this starting 5 can beat anybody in basketball, including the Brooklyn. And 18-1 is egregious for this starting 5. It is way, way too high of a price. They should be more like 8 to 10-1 to win the title. I think we're getting like double what we should be getting. This team, and they have an easy schedule the rest of the season. They're going to roll into the playoffs. I wouldn't be surprised if they go into the playoffs as a top 2 seed, top 3 seed, and like 8-1 to win it. So great value there as far as the bet side, whoever wants to get a good price on Denver. And Jokic is going to win the MVP too at like -130 right now. But back to the game, I don't think Jokic has the ceiling with this starting 5. I agree with Mangone. You got Jamal Murray, Barton, and Porter. You got Aaron Gordon as your 5th option on this starting 5. That is absolutely ridiculous. And yeah, Jokic has still got a huge floor. He's still going to get a lot of 50-point games, 55, 48. All those upside spots might be gone though. And what I'm going to do in the projections, I'm going to put him at like 52 or something. And I'm going to know in the back of my head that I don't think it's a ceiling spot, but maybe if everything fits perfect and you fall on Jokic, I'm fine with that. I mean, he's going to get you 50. It's safe. You get your upside from other spots. Get your upside from some of the lesser guys, like the Toronto guys going off in different spots like that, to where it's all roster construction. Under project him and see how he falls. Maybe he doesn't fall. Maybe you need more than that from him, but that's what I do.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to do it. And I think that makes a ton of sense because you might need those raw points, right? Based on the way construction goes throughout your lineups. JT, I'll going over to you. What do you want to do here with the Nuggets? Obviously, Jokic is someone that you got to be looking to, you don't want to play him here in this spot. So he's someone that you can look at low ownership, but I don't think it's the right move. Maybe you do. You're a tournament guy. Let me know. Is it Jokic or is it Giannis?
No, so first of all, I think it's Giannis. I think if you were going to pay up that much at center, you could play Giannis at center. I would almost rather take a shot on Embiid having a big game and maybe exposing Robert Williams for the first time in that Philly-Boston game. Although, like I said, I don't have a ton of interest than I would in Jokic. The one thing that I will say is Jamal Murray is questionable. So I do have interest in Monty Morris if he starts for Murray. I'd have a little bit more interest in Barton and maybe even Gordon in that case. But it's a 17 point spread, I think, or maybe I'm misstating that, but
They're a big favorite for sure.
yeah. So I don't see this Detroit team, I should say, they're positioning themselves for the lottery. There are 14 guys on that team projected for minutes tonight. I mean, I just don't think it's going to be particularly close, especially with the Nuggets coming off a game where they let Orlando hang around a little bit too long.
I swear they would have lost that game. If RJ Hampton wasn't running his mouth, Denver would have lost. He just was running his mouth too much, and they're like, this dude's not going to come in here and shit all over us. We got to come back on him.
Yeah, RJ Hampton was fun the other day. Excited to definitely keep playing him because he has been good. We'll see what his price ends up going to. But yeah, this is not the greatest game. This is definitely the greatest game on the slate. We got the Bucks and the Warriors, and TitleTown's not even here to talk about the Bucks. So, but we have a pretty good game here. Tony, I'll go to you first. Bucks and Warriors, 237.5 total. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be one of the premier games of the night as far as the total. The total's huge. We got some star power in the game, obviously, with Giannis and these other guys. And you look at the pricing, though, yeah, I would definitely project Giannis higher than Jokic just because he does have a ceiling versus a team like Golden State. But I still worry about Giannis. I know he just came off of 72, so it's going to sound bad when I say this, but when they're at full strength with Drew and Middleton and everyone in there, like right now, I don't necessarily look at him as like a huge ceiling guy like we have in the past. All that matters though on this slate is that you're projecting him higher than Jokic, like JT said, because again, it's an optimizer sport for me. So as long as I have him higher than Jokic, nothing else really matters. If I project him at 55, 60, 58, it doesn't really matter because if he fits in the roster construction, he does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So I'm going to project him a little bit ahead, maybe 55 fantasy points or something. Nobody else on Milwaukee I'm going to play when they're at full strength. There's just no way. And then you look at the Golden State side. Well, we've picked on Milwaukee with guys that can shoot. So you have to have interest in Steph. I mean, you have to in a high total like this. He's the exact guy that has always crushed Milwaukee. But, I mean, you got Drew D. Maybe 9,700 for Steph. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It's a high total, so I think people are going to go to the Giannis and Steph approach and kind of play both of them and just treat the high total that way. I'm a little bit lower on this game than the field probably will be. I think a lot of people will go to this game. I don't know. I'm a little uneasy about it because I think the matchup is a little tougher both ways than most will realize. Like, I think Draymond can even bang on Giannis a little bit and slow him down just a little bit. I don't know. Like, I get why people are playing this game. I don't know, though. I'm a little bit lower than the field, I think. Bobby Gomes likes every play I don't like. He loves Steph. He loves Embiid. Bobby Gomes, either you're going to win tonight or I'm going to win because we don't like the same dudes.
Yeah, we just got some news, by the way. So Stan Van Gundy said Isaiah Thomas will definitely play tonight. The Pelicans are short on guard depth. Also said we got Zion is likely to play and Ingram is unlikely to play. So I think that's everything there on that. So that's all the news. I think there was one more thing. Jeremy Lamb is available. So I know that's something that matters to you. So
I mean, he's cheap. I mean, he's very, very cheap. So yes.
Yeah, definitely something that you're going to be looking at. JT, I'll go over to you. Talking about Draymond Green, right? Like he's someone, Steph Curry, when they're in competitive games, they have upside, right? Obviously, if they get destroyed, what's going to happen? It's going to be an ugly game for you. So I think there's some correlation between like, if you do play a Giannis or if you play Curry, make sure to put Giannis in there. That's something that I would be looking at when I'm building out my lineups. I think if you play one of the Warriors, you probably want to run it back with Giannis. Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, I think so. The Warriors have lost 3 in a row. Obviously, Milwaukee's been coming off a couple of wins, I think. Big win at Portland and then beating Sacramento shorthanded, I believe. So I think the Warriors will be motivated to play. Draymond's a guy that's tough to get right. He's had, sometimes in these big spots, he really gets motivated to play. I think tonight he'll be motivated to play. His price is you need a ceiling game out of him, or what is a ceiling game for him these days? He's just a tough guy to play. If you're playing multiple lineups, yes, I think you can definitely take some shots on Dre. I do like Steph tonight. And then James Wiseman is 4.8. The minutes are always all over the place for him. But earlier in the season, he did do really well in this matchup. He got what would be the equivalent of about 6 to 7x for that price. Center is a little bit tougher tonight because depending on how you're going to construct, you're probably in a position where you want to pay up, which is why I'm looking at Giannis as my center potentially. But he's there at 4.8. And Chris Middleton coming off a kind of not a great game when they were shorthanded at 7-7. It's a pretty good matchup for him as well. With both Steph and Draymond on the court, this isn't a matchup. Maybe Oubre a little bit. I'm definitely not playing Wiggins at his price tonight.
Yeah, no, definitely don't like Wiggins' price there. Don't think I want to be going there too much. Tony, would you agree? Giannis, Draymond, Steph, is that a stack you would look to do? Obviously, you've missed out on some of the other guys, but I do think it makes some sense there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it at all. There's got to be builds with all this value where you play Steph, Draymond, and Giannis. I think that stack works just fine. I mean, absolutely. You think this game stays close and both teams just compete to win, which I get worried about these teams. Like all these really good teams like Milwaukee and the Lakers and all the top teams, I am very worried for the next month, their motivation to win games. Their only concern is going in the playoffs healthy and fresh legs. I get worried. I'll just throw that out there. I'll say it for the next month. I'll be worried about all of the good veteran teams like that. I just worry about it. So, I mean, I don't know if I should or if I shouldn't. I know a lot of people don't. That's just strictly my opinion. If you think the game shoots out, though, I have no issue playing all three of those guys without a doubt.
Yeah. So speaking of teams that are, have veterans that they like to sit down the stretch, we got the Clippers and the Blazers. And I do expect the Clippers to sit some guys. Is tonight the night? I don't know. I don't think it is, but you never know with the Clippers. JT, I'll go to you. Is it a Damian Lillard night? Is it Paul George, Kawhi? I mean, we have a lot of stars that you can play. What are you doing here with this game?
So a lot of healthy bodies as of right now on both of these teams. It looks like Patrick Beverley is going to be back tonight. He was upgraded, I believe, to questionable. And Beverley's, I mean, he's almost the same type of play as Draymond, right? If he comes motivated, he could not nearly as talented, but also an annoying guy. I don't have any interest in him, but he, I think, will take some upside away from Dame. And I think, you can look to CJ McCollum more so tonight, 8K on DraftKings. Powell is finally priced down a little bit. I think he's 5.9 on DraftKings. But I think Tony's right about this. This Clippers team is a team where, it wouldn't surprise me if one of these two guys sits. And so, obviously you'd be in good position if you're sitting with a late stack of the other game and you can pivot to this game. But other than that, I guess I will say Enes Kanter, flat out 6K here. Nurkic is out tonight. So I think he's a decent play, not particularly concerned with the defense of Zubac. And I know they signed DeMarcus Cousins. I didn't see him in the DraftKings player pool. I don't know if he's going to play at all tonight. So it's just a lot of bodies in this game that I don't know how many, if any, players I'll have from here.
Yeah, definitely not the greatest game to go to. Obviously, I talk about this a bunch. You can make pivots, obviously, later on. It's a 10 o'clock game, so if you do think there's chalkier options, you can switch off them. BigT, do you think that's an option that you would look at? And is this a game that you're getting any exposure to?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the same story as all season. I think you can backload and just wait on the news. There's a bunch of dudes you can play. I mean, in the Milwaukee game, we named a bunch of ways you can go. If that game shoots out, a lot of plays are in the mix. For me personally, I mean, it's been the theme of the year, but man, I don't trust the Clippers late. And I just don't like the late games as much as other people will. I don't really trust Milwaukee. I don't trust Golden State, and I don't trust the Clippers. So I do like the Enes Kanter call. I want to get more info about Boogie. If we know Boogie's not going to play, I think Kanter's a great call for especially a center that's underpriced against a team like the Clippers that doesn't have any bigs. I think Canner's a great. I want to make sure Boogie's not playing because I could see them just getting him in the mix for, I don't know, 18 minutes or something, which hurts Canner's upside a little bit, but we'll wait on that news. I don't know, though. I mean, I can almost guarantee you I'm not playing Clippers the rest of the year until the playoffs because even if their guys sit, I mean, you think Kawhi's motivated to play even if Paul George sits? He wants to be healthy for the playoffs. That is literally all that matters for these studs. The rest, Giannis, same thing. All he wants is to be healthy. He doesn't give a shit if he beats Golden State tonight, even remotely. Sure, if he's out there, he's going to play hard. I'm not saying that he's not going to do that, but any minor thing, if his ankle hurts, if his knee hurt, like they're just going to come out for the next month. You got to be careful with that. I'd rather go with teams like Toronto, for example, that are trying to get in the playoffs that we know are going to have to play, not the Lakers and the Clippers and Milwaukee and all these veteran teams. I'm just not going to trust it for the next month. Again, that's me. You can do whatever you want. Obviously, everyone makes their own decisions. I will be way under on all the veteran teams the next month, though.
I do.
Why would Boogie hurt Canner's upside? The dude said in there. What? How in the world would what? I can't even. I don't even know what to say. How would he hurt his upside? Because he'd be playing minutes.
That's all right. Carlos Ray thinks Zubac is going to do well, even though Cousins is going to take half his playing time. So I mean, it is what it is with the chat. Sometimes it's been very hurtful the last 5 minutes, except for DFS Little Monster. Thanks, man. I appreciate you, or woman.
All right, guys, please hit that like, hit that subscribe on the video. It helps us out a ton. That we only got a couple minutes left because we got JSU and Holden. They will be doing the final countdown show for us. So you guys got to check that out. Awesome premium show that we have over here at Run Pure Sports. Now, get those likes, get those subscribes up. I don't know if we're going to get to that number, Big T. We got 285 likes, right? That's not going to get it done for giving away swag today, right?
Yeah, we can't. I mean, we need more likes for that.
We'll see if they can wow us. Maybe they will by the end, but we'll give them a chance. We'll see what they can do with this 736 watching. So try and pound away at them, and we'll see if we'll give away that swag at the end. We're going to get the plays of the day, and I know, Big T, you're hoping I'm saying Sweet Lou. I am not saying
you better say him. I mean, it'd be a major letdown if you didn't.
Yeah, but that's not – I was never considering playing him today.
You got to just do it for the respect of the show. Like, out of respect, you go to freaking Sweet Lou.
No, I'm not, because that's not the guy that I want to play that bad. Like, right?
I mean, that is weak, man, Gone.
I don't care, Tony. I didn't want to play him that bad. You overblew it, and it wasn't something that was all over. It's not. I didn't pre-make my teams with him being like a lock button play, right? That was not anything that I was trying to do today. So I think if I look at this Bucks Warriors game, right? We talk about the Bucks; they're not that good of a team, right? I'm not saying I want to go out and bet the Warriors, but I think the Warriors make this game pretty competitive, and when the game's competitive, I want to be on Draymond Green. It's a fast-paced game as well, and that's where Draymond thrives, those up and down games where he can run that point. I like Draymond Green a lot here in this spot. Give me him as my play of the day at 6.7K. We'll go over to you, JT Hayes. The people want it. They want to know what the Eiffel Tower play of the day is. You know, your boy Damian Lillard is on the slate. Your boy Nikola Vucevic is on the slate. We got all the guys that you butcher their names on the slate. JT, who is the Eiffel Tower play of the day?
First of all, I don't butcher any names. All right, let's get it straight. I say the names the right way. I am, and I got a mild bone to pick with the chat, right? I understand that my fucking internet is messing up right now, and I have done it. I got to obviously do something else because what I'm doing isn't working. I got an extender. I got all sorts of things, right? It's not enough. I don't know what my wife's doing in the rest of the house. Who the hell knows how many Real Housewives episodes are streaming on every TV? And that's cutting into the internet. Do you guys think I don't know this? Like, do you guys think every 7 minutes popping up with the internet is going to make it somehow better? I mean, Jesus Christ. Like, it's hurtful. It's hurtful. I know it's disappointing. Gives you a little bit less of an experience. And I promise you this, it'll be fixed by Thursday. Now, that being said, here I am busting my ass trying to get the internet to work. 184 likes? 184 likes? I don't even know if I should give this play out. I'm disgusted with you right now. There's so much bad mojo. Jeremy people talking about Tony. I met his family. This man can't go broke. He's got 800 relatives over the house every day, all singing Kumbaya, sharing meals. It's a beautiful thing. This is just, I don't know. I go to Tony because I don't even know I'm going to give it. I don't even know if I should give it.
Well, TJ said, imagine saying he's butchering names when he knows the families personally. So TJ is spreading that good mojo, which is
he knows. He knows.
Maybe that'll get stuff moving around. Tony, are we giving away?
Episode here. I got to think about it.
Are we closing shop, Tony? What are we doing today? What are we doing right now?
Yeah, I mean, I'll give the play just because I want to keep the good mojo for the chat. They didn't
deliver today, Tony. They didn't deliver.
I want to know why you keep calling me Tony. The chat wants to know too. That's bad mojo as well. They want to know why. It's like when I called you Travis that day. I made fun of Sweet Lou. Now you call me Tony.
I mean, listen. My bad. That's reserved for Tony Snell. My apologies. We can't call you. So you're clearly your Big T as
we're back now. See, now I can give the play again.
So give the play out for the people. Let's make the good mojo because the people are not. Let's bring it for them.
So for me, I think the only option, it's a tough slate again. The toughest workbench slates are where we have a ton of lock plays for me, where they're really good plays. Mangone makes fun of me when I get too chalky. So I got to go off the grid a little bit. And really from the beginning, I wanted to make sure he was in when we talked about it. But Jeremy Lamb at 3,400 with this Indiana, is it going to be chalky, Mangone? Are you going to make fun of me or is he not?
I don't think he's chalky right now.
Okay, well, good then. He's the workbench play. We're going with him if I'm not getting made fun of.
I will say, Tony, I'm on the show, right? I haven't looked at, all the updates and everything, but I will accept Jeremy Lamb. That's perfectly fine. I don't think everyone's loading up on him. And there's that injury concern, right? So, of course, I think all the other Pacers are going to have more ownership. So I will accept Jeremy Lamb. The Kira Lewis thing I did not accept, and I was right about that one. So, but hey, Jeremy Lamb, I like the call, 3,400. JT, hit it with me. What's the Eiffel Tower play of the day?
So you guys got to tell me how many likes we have, because I don't know if you noticed, but my internet's a little wonky today.
We have 371, JT, but I say we create the good mojo for the people, right? Like they need us. So let's give them the good mojo today.
That's fine. I would like
really
to
still say like 180.
Yeah, it still says 184. I don't know why. Hunter Weaver is sitting here saying JT complains every single stream. If we had more time, Hunter, I would kick you out before I gave this fucking play, but we don't have more time. So he's going to be 12% owned. I think people are going to shy away from this because they had a bad game last game out. Real close to France, real close to where the Eiffel Tower is. This play brought to you, as always, by Air France, of course. And it's Dennis Schroeder. This team, this Toronto team cannot guard point guards. They're giving up a ton of fantasy points. 12% owned. Give me a little bit of the guy with the yellow flaming streak in his hair for the Eiffel Tower play of the day.
All right. Love it, JT. That'll wrap it up for us, guys. Thanks a lot for joining us here on the NBA Hardwood Show. Join JSU and Holden on the final countdown coming up on the premium side. For me, Mangone, for JT, and for Big T. See you guys later.